Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick and I talk all about trading, forex, and stocks. And today we're going to be talking about stop losses and the joys of stopping out. Now I know that sort of thumbnail and title can be a little bit frustrating, especially when, getting a stop loss means that you're actually hitting a loss, right? You're taking a loss on your trade. Well, in today's video, my goal is to sort of reflect for my own trading and also maybe share a message with you guys on the importance of actually using a stop loss and also some of the joys of actually just choosing to stop out of losing positions really, really quickly and not holding on to giant losses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the chart. We'll take a look at this together, and I want to show you guys some examples of times that stop losses could have really saved you, or at the very least, can be used to sort of mitigate some of the risk that the forex market will and can throw at you when you are trading. So let's go take a look at it. Okay, so the first thing I want to say here is that a lot of times traders get, very frustrated with using a stop loss, because let's say that you were using a stop loss on this move right here, right? Let's say you were long on GBP USD and you decided to hit a stop, or you put a stop loss on your trade, and price comes right on down and tags you out for a loss just before reversing. Has that ever happened to you? Because I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. If you've been trading for any amount of time, it's just the reality of the markets is there's times where you get into a trade and right away it just goes down, hits you out for a stop loss, and then right back the other direction. And I'm not going to lie, I've been trading for a while. This still happens to me every once in a while, and it is incredibly frustrating. And I wish that there was an easy way to just completely avoid that. But sometimes people will take the conclusion that, okay, well, if I'm going to get stopped out just before it turns around, why don't I just not have a stop loss? Why don't I just take the trade and put a take profit on my position and then wait for the market to come back and save me? And trust me, there are times where this works out. Actually, there are many times that this actually works out. And the danger of this, you guys, is that because it works out so high, so often, right? By not putting a stop loss on your trade and just holding on to the position, so often the trade does come right on back and hits your take profit or stays in the trade without getting stopped out for a loss. That is very, very true. And that's where the deception for me in my past has come from. It's very easy to say, hey, well, if I don't put a stop loss, I stay in the trade, and then, long term, I just wait and it comes back and hits my thing. But let me show you this really quick. I'm going to show you an example of in a situation where it was not so pretty and things did not come back. For example, let's take a look at Aussie dollar here around 2020. Let's say that you were short biased on this market. Let's say that you were looking to get short on a retest here, and you say, okay, well, I want to take a short position here on this market, but I don't want to put a stop loss because I know that as soon as I put a stop loss, what's the market going to do? It's going to tag it, and then it's going to go right on back down and hit my target. I've seen it happen too many times, so let me just not put a stop loss on my trade. And let me show you what would have happened had you do this, right? Everything looks good, but the market just decided to start recovering much sooner than a lot of market investors and traders anticipated. Back in 2020, we saw a really strong rally or bounce back for the Australian dollar. Now, if you had your target back down here, going for something like 350 pips, which is a big swing trade, right? Imagine if you had refused to take a loss here and you never put a stop loss on your trade. In this case, the Australian dollar against the US dollar rallied and rallied and rallied. And if you had sat from all the way back then, over a year ago, at one point, your trade, had you chosen to, I don't know if you would have been margin called by this or not, probably margin called before this. Had you held all this way, the market went against you 2,000 pips and never came back to your original entry or below. Even still, even though the market has been in a downtrend now, Australian dollar is nowhere near where your initial entry was. So my point with saying this is that, the danger of refusing to stop out is that so many traders, they get caught up in, getting angry that they're getting stopped out. But what if we actually, instead of treating the stop loss like our worst enemy that's just out to get us, why don't we treat it just like a friend that's trying to help? Because let's go back to this scenario one more time. And I want to show this to you guys again through the lens of, what if you had put a stop loss on your trade and kept things very, very controlled? Well, maybe had you put a stop loss on this trade, you would have been able to, let's see, do I just need to restart this? If you had put a stop loss on your trade, and let's say you stopped out right there. Yes, that stop loss short term might not feel that great, but long term, imagine had it saved you all of that pain that this market kept going against you, right? If you were short and this thing just went and went and went and you didn't have a stop loss, that could turn into a real nightmare, right? So, what do we do with this? Well, again, it's maybe just re-engineering the thought process of a stop loss, and instead of thinking of it as just this this evil, deity thing that's on our charts that we never want to get hit. What if we just look at the stop loss as, hey, if it stops out, it stops out. That's part of trading. And honestly, it's sort of important to keep us from getting into those really gross, moves against you. That's probably, you guys, for who have been watching me for a while, you may have mentioned that, or you may have heard me mention that in the past. I've had a lot of people send me messages, talking about bad positions that they're in. I had someone send me a screenshot of them on a USD ZAR trade, and they were down like $50,000, and they were still holding on to it. And I get that, that question all the time, Nick, what do I do? And there's nothing that I can say for them to fix their situation. If they've held on to a massive loss, that's a dangerous thing. And for me, as a trader, as a trend trader, my biggest wins come from holding on to the good trades, not from holding on to the losing trades. There's a big danger in holding on to ginormous losses and letting them get bigger and bigger and bigger and just fingers crossed hoping they go against you. So for me, a stop loss is a way to keep my risk managed and for me to not just get smoked by one massive move that goes against me. And again, this is just my opinion as always with these videos, but if they were helpful to you, do me a big favor and hit that like button down below and subscribe for more free trading content. This stuff, hopefully you're finding it down to earth and helpful. If you made it to the end of the video, comment down below. You guys who watch my content and have been watching for a while, a lot of you guys who have been subscribed, always make sure to comment that you made it to the end. And I really do appreciate that quite a bit. So if you made it to the end, comment down below and I'll try and leave a heart on your comment. Have a great rest of your day. Happy trading, and we'll see you back next time.